I have a burning word upon my heart that I want to share with you in Parashat Vayigash. It's not just my word. I want to use some of the things that Rabbi Druckmann says in his gigantic book, Maaseh Avot. This is a very special word that he's bringing, he's connecting the Midrash here. And I want to look at the Parashat Vayigash and the connection between Yosef and Yehuda standing up. Now, the way Rabbi Druckmann explained it is that something going to happen in the days ahead. Again, I'm going to be speaking a lot about this in the upcoming book, in the Fall of Edom, and I hope everybody pre-ordering this book now. Now, he explained to us that the Maaseh Avot Siman Labanim, the meeting between Yehuda and Yosef for the salvation of Binyamin and so forth, and ultimately for the salvation of his father Yaakov, is a messianic picture of the last days of Acharit Hayamim. Listen to what he says. He says, in the days of Mashiach, there are going to be two powers that are going to be raised up. One power called Yehuda, and one power called Yosef. You heard me speaking about this a lot. And he said, those two forces have been in a state of like defunct. They've been in a state of sleepiness in the Galut, meaning before the coming of Mashiach. But during the days before the coming of Mashiach, we're going to receive a special force in the world. We're going to experience it. It's called in Hebrew Itorerut. Itorerut is the force of awakening. And he says, every force that is awakened, Itorerut is awakened from its own merit. Therefore, there is in the house of Israel people who are working in the physicality of building the house of Israel, and there are those who are affecting the spirituality. The Yehuda and the Yosef are representing those two forces, the physical force and the spiritual forces that are going to work together. Now, we said, in our days, this is very important. You hear me again and again. If you read the book of Nenuchmas, and I need to say something about it, I am begging you to listen to me for a moment. Everybody go online and see those sweet little slogan, bring them now, talking about the hostages. And I see it everybody. You have to understand why there is a big problem with this slogan. I want to explain this to you now that you understand it. A week ago, we saw what happened. The three hostages were shot down. The soldiers shot the hostages. And the moment that happened, Israel has erupted. And there are voices inside of Israel says, bring them home. Give Hamas whatever they want. This is the voices of the hostages family. You have to understand spiritually what's happening in Israel right now. And these forces are completely dividing inside of Israel. Do you think that the people from the right do not want to see the hostages coming through? Do you think that the soldiers do not want to see the hostages coming through? There is any single Jew that doesn't. We all want them to come through, to come out and to set free. But now, you see, Hamas is the Satan, the enemy, is very clever. He's very, very clever. I want this shiur today to reach the masses so that you understand what's happening. They are bringing the spirit of Hamas inside of Israel. They know exactly what's going to happen. They're dividing Israel from within. So please understand, when you are saying bring them home, you are actually supporting a political agenda, a liberal political agenda. Don't do that. Because the life of the hostages is not more important than the life of a soldier. And if we are not going to deal with that, we're going to have something 100 times worse than October 7th. Brothers and sisters, look at what they found. Look at the tunnels that they're finding. Look at the things that they're finding underground. It's unbelievable. It is shocking. They found a city. Can you imagine? A jeep, a tank can go like they have a lane. Why is it? because they build a prototype of Gehenom, of hell there. And I want everybody to go and get my new book, The New Hamas, and understand that what we're dealing with, and we cannot assist the enemy by saying, bring them up and bring in the fire of internal sinat chinam. The same thing that brought October 7 upon us. We cannot do that. Please be wise. Don't fall for the slogans and for those agenda. I am begging you. And here Rabbi Chaim Druckman says so beautifully. He said, during those days, our days, those forces, the physical force, the bring them home force, and the spiritual forces are working independently. They are working differently. Okay? And at times, he says, they oppose to one another. Like the case of Yehuda and Yosef. We have to understand those forces are working. I'm begging you guys, read the new book, The Fall of Edom. You'll understand what we are up against. Like it says, Ki hinei hamelachim noadu avru yachdav. They're fighting against us. And Rabbi Druckman says here, they fight against one another. They're angry upon one another. They're fighting on Benjamin, the only son. Where was Benjamin born? Huh? Where was Benjamin born? The only son that was born in the land of Israel. You see? Benjamin represents a picture of the land of Israel. And the only one who did not bow to Esau. What is Benjamin represent? Rabbi Druckman tells us, Semel Atzmaut Israel. He represents the independence of Israel. He represents those things. It is saying it's a fight for the image, for the character, and for the new attribute of Israel. Exactly what we're dealing with right now. You know what we're fighting right now? You should understand that, brothers and sisters, I'm begging you, get those books in your hand. We are fighting to the identity of Israel. We're fighting for Benjamin right now, internally. And Rabbi Druckman wrote that word, brilliant. He says, what is this image that Israel will be? All the sides, if it is Yehuda, if it is Yosef, want to show only one side. Bring them home. This is one side, it's the physical side. And then there's only the spiritual side. Each side is fighting for their own side. There's one who wanted to be spiritual side of Israel, and there is one who wanted to be the physical side of Israel. Listen to this. This is absolutely unbelievable. And he says, and I quote, we know, and you're going to read all of this in my new book, get this, run and get it. We know that the days of Mashiach, there will be two Mashiachim. He says this. Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David. Mashiach ben Yosef represent the physicality, and Mashiach ben David represent the spirituality of Am Israel. In the day Israel resurrected as a nation, we are going to see forces who prepare the soil for Mashiach ben Yosef. And there will be those forces who prepare Mashiach ben David. There are some on the physical and some on the spiritual. Okay? And they are going to be in battle. So how do we resolve it? He says this, Rabbi Druckman says, it is important for all of us to look at those two as one entity, one united whole entity. And this called in Hebrew, Achdut HaKochot. The unification of forces. Achdut HaKochot lebinyan echad. Achdut HaKochot to one establishment, the house of Israel. The unification of the forces of oneness. And I see us being Yosef, and I see the Jewish people being Yehuda, the remnant. We need to unify ourselves to one building. Look, it's the book of Ephesians. I cannot believe it. The rabbi is quoting Ephesians without knowing this. He says, initially, listen to that, initially, it's necessary for the forces to show themselves as separate. Oh, you believe in Yeshua? No. We're Chabad. We're not going to work with you. They necessary for this to be separate. Okay? Because each force have its own space of operation, he says. But ideally, he said, to get the maximum, you have to have the Ichud. What is the Haftarah of this Shabbat? The Haftarah for this Shabbat is the book of Ezekiel 37, verse 15 through 19. ואתה קח בן אדם, son of man, קח לך עץ אחד, take yourself a one tree, וכתוב עליו ליהודה ולבני ישראל חבריו, ולקח עץ אחד, וכתוב עליו ליוסף עץ אפרים, וכל בית ישראל חבריו. It's just the prophecy of the two sticks. עץ אפרים, עץ ישראל. And he says they are going to be unified when there will be one. Who is he talking about? He's talking about Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David. He's not talking about crazy Hebrew roots movement. And they're going to be Chaverim. You should know how Israel interpreted Ezekiel chapter 37. וכאשר יאמרו אליך בני עמך לאמור, לא תגיד לנו, מה אלה לך? דבר אליהם, כה אמר אדוני, הנה אני נתתי, לוקח את עץ יוסף, אשר ביד אפרים, ושמתי ישראל חברה, ונתתי אותם על עץ יהודה, ועשיתי לעץ אחד, והיו אחד בידי. They will become one. Their space will be taken from them. Because here we're going to go through what's called Hichud HaKochot. How do I know that the Hebrew roots and all those Meshugaim that said that there are those 10 lost tribes are not it? Because it says that they will not reject Judaism. They're not going to reject Judaism. They're going to join themselves. They're going to be grafting himself. Those who believe in Yosef, who part of Yosef, Mashiach ben Yosef, will have to give some of their space. What about those of David? What about Judaism? Will it have to give some of its space? Yes, it will. The truth of the matter is will. And here Rabbi Druckmann explained that the Jewish people have to move forward to the complete achdut of two facets. And he says this, and he quotes this, V'avdi David malach aleim. Well, look what's the result. My servant David will be upon him. Who is the dominant side? Mashiach ben David. V'ro'eh echad yeh lekulam. One shepherd will be for all of them. U'b'mishpati yilchu v'chukati yishmeru v'yasu otam. They will walk because they will have one Torah. V'yeshvu la'aretz asher natati le'avdi le'Yaakov. They will dwell in the land that I gave to Jacob. אשר ישבו בתם באו אבותיכם, the land that you given to our father, וישבו עליה, הם ובניהם ובני בניהם עד עולם. Hallelujah, we will not be exiled again from the land. ודוד אבני נשיא להם לעולם. And then I will give them the Brit Shalom. What is the Brit Shalom? The Brit Shalom, brothers and sisters, is the promise of the new covenant. No matter what the church tell you, beloved, we have not yet entered into the new covenant, and you need to understand it. The unification between Yosef and Yehudah for Binyamin, which is all of Israel, that's what bring the Brit Chadashah. This yet to happen. What does it mean to us today? Well, what it means to all of us today, beloved, is that we have to take the steps today to line ourselves up with Yosef. Give him the space. Don't be so attacking of the Jewish people who don't know Yeshua. Don't be a missionary to the Jews. Don't do that. Give Yehudah the space to do what he needs to do. He will come around. I'm telling you, Jewish people will come around. Similarly to the Jewish people, I have to say the opposite. Don't lump some old Gentiles in the same boat. They are not all the same. They are not all here to forcefully convert you. Not every Gentile, Christian, is after the Inquisition to cause another Inquisition to the Jewish people. It's not true. Both of them have to unify. And yes, we have to conflict. But the conflict, it have to be for the sake of heaven. For the sake of heaven. May the Geulah come for the sake of heaven. And may God raise Yehuda. I've been asking this last Shabbat the same question. Where is Yehuda? And where is Yosef today? Where is Yosef? Are we Yosef? I don't think the church is Yosef today. I honestly don't tell you. I don't believe so. I pray that we will see Yosef arise as a remnant. And the remnant of Yehuda arise. So that Benjamin, the land of Israel, the Jewish people who do not bow down to Esau, arise and shine. Do not say, don't bring them home now. Don't say that. That's not fighting for that. Don't. Are you following what I'm telling you? Setting the captive free. He's reconciled with the Jewish people. You want to see the captive set free? You do so many mitzvot. You give so much tzedakah. You do so much gmilut chasadim that you will reconcile yourself with Yehuda. And in that, Benjamin will be set free. Ahavat chinam, ahavat Israel. God bless you. I'm just praying that this message should be such a quick message, speak to you to understand this amazing prophecy in the Torah and in the Haftarah, Ezekiel 37. God bless you, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. And friends, let's be part of this reconciliation. It is time, indeed.